Hey everyone, welcome back to another video. Dr. Mike, who is a popular YouTuber slash doctor, medical doctor, okay, and he's been quite popular. I mean, he's got millions of followers online, and he tries to make videos that debunks inaccurate medical information, let's say. And look, I'm not going to lie, I happen to enjoy some of the things that Dr. Mike says. And obviously, he makes these reaction videos to certain medical shows and things like that. When he's doing that, obviously, it's fine. It's okay. I get it because it's a medical show. It's Hollywood, so they kind of make a lot of stuff up. But when it's, politically motivated, that's where I sort of disagree a lot with Dr. Mike. And America is a very sick country. Okay, there's no doubt about that. You've got obesity, which is affecting a vast majority of the US population. Kids are getting sick like there's no tomorrow. The healthcare system is broken. And it's amazing to me how, yes, I guess Dr. Mike would actually agree that the healthcare system is somewhat broken in the US, but he's not really doing much to actually help fix it. If you were to really help fix it and do it properly, you'd start with the food system. You'd start with actually introducing healthy foods into the environment whereby kids can eat it and actually not be infested with these toxic chemical laden products. But hey, for Dr. Mike, politics sometimes gets in the way of his medical training, even though he's been training as a medical doctor for a very long time. And look, I'm not a doctor, so I can't talk about his medical qualifications or whatever else. But what I can talk about is his political affiliations. He seems to be affiliated with, you guessed it, Joe Biden and Kamala Harris. He had Kamala Harris on his podcast, The Checkup, I believe, recently. And look, with a couple of days left of the election, I think the election is tomorrow for people in the US. For us, it will be on Wednesday. I think that's when we get the official result on Wednesday, or maybe Thursday. We'll know. Who knows what's going to happen? Hopefully, it's Donald Trump that wins in a landslide. I pray to God that that is the case. I'm nervous for all the right reasons. I can only imagine how people in the US would be feeling at the moment, because there's a lot of division over there. But nevertheless, they're campaigning quite hard, and Kamala Harris only goes on podcasts that agree with her and want to offer up a very softball kind of interview. And that's what it was with Dr. Mike. It was a very softball interview. And Dr. Mike doesn't like RFK Jr., even though RFK Jr. has actually prosecuted quite a few companies in the past for their environmental damage as well as their medical malpractices. And he was against the COVID-19 vaccine, which Dr. Mike doesn't really like. And he's against all of these toxic farming practices. I'm talking about RFK Jr. He wants to make the American public healthy again. That's his mantra. Maha, make America healthy again. You're seeing in the videos from the 70s and the 80s of Americans on the beach, stark difference. You have all of these factory farming, a lot of these industrialized movements that have come in, and obviously pharmaceutical companies have played a role in this, but ultra processed foods, cheap to make. A lot of people get addicted to them because they're scientifically crafted to make people's taste buds get addicted to the stuff, and it's cheap. So you've got several things weighing a lot of people down. You've got the cheap factor, you've got the accessibility factor, you've got the environmental factor, and you've got the addictive factor. Like, you've got all these factors surrounding having access to these foods. And Dr. Mike, well, I don't want RFK Jr. to have any control over this because he's been a bit critical in the past of vaccines, and he's not the sort of person that I want in a medical setting. But yet Dr. Mike is like, I want to be part of this, but how are we going to help this issue? Kamala Harris, can you please tell me how we're going to help this issue? And Kamala Harris, again, word salad, makes no sense at all. Dr. Mike doesn't even correct her once. And Kamala, being what Kamala is and what she does best, it's not much except attack Donald Trump. Attacks him for everything and starts attacking RFK Jr. They've got no idea what the man has done. The man wrote a book, RFK Jr., showing the real Anthony Fauci. Obviously, I think Dr. Mike has actually interviewed Dr. Fauci, which is, again, problematic. But nevertheless, let's have a watch of a short clip from, I know, an extended interview that he did with Kamala Harris. If you want to go and spend time listening to it, I actually encourage you to listen to it because it's a doctor, an actual doctor, talking to the vice president of the US and a presidential candidate. So it's interesting to hear what the presidential candidate is going to say to an actual doctor when it comes down to fixing the food system. Did she say anything? Nah, just have a watch.
Could be a situation where an individual like RFK Jr. ends up at the head of a major health organization like HHS, CDC, FDA. I cannot say how concerning it is, to use the words lightly, for me as a primary care physician to have someone who has spoken anti-science rhetoric in the past, denial of HIV infections, anti-vaccine stances, to be mentioned in that space. Is that concerning for you? And how would you imagine that would play out in the reproductive space?
Well, first of all, it's not going to happen because I intend to win this election. Let's start with that. And that is one of the reasons why I'm working so hard, because I know the stakes. So Donald Trump has indicated that he would have RFK run women's health policy. And we know, to your point, how that he has been very, well, you've said it best, and you're the medical professional. It has not been helpful to the medical profession to have him talk about healthcare the way he does. So I'm going to win the election, but it's going to be because everybody gets out and vote, and they know what is at stake. And that includes not only that issue of who's running women's health for the federal government, but also the Affordable Care Act. Donald Trump had tried to get rid of it dozens of times when he was president. He intends to get rid of it again. That would cause millions and millions of people to lose their health care insurance. It could go back to a time when insurance companies could deny people with pre-existing conditions. As you know, that meant breast cancer survivors. It meant pregnancy was a pre-existing condition, by the way, right? So these are all the things that are directly at risk because of this election. And these are the reasons that I'm fighting to make sure that we win.
I don't think RFK Jr. is going to radically change HIV or CDC, or I think he's going to drain all the corruption. And I hope to God that actually happens. And if that's the case, Dr. Mike, you should be all for it. Maybe you're making, I don't want to make any assumptions here, but maybe you're making profit. I guess you are making some sort of profit from the medical industry at the moment because you are a medical doctor. And if RFK Jr. comes in and he's going to audit the living crap out of the healthcare system at the moment, I think he's going to find a lot of corruption in that industry that sadly a lot of doctors get tied up in, and they just prescribe medication. I'm not saying you do that, Dr. Mike, but I know a lot of other doctors, they do that. And it's quite concerning because you're just hooking people on these medications. You're supporting Big Pharma. And I know RFK Jr. is quite against Big Pharma. He's exposed a lot of the corruption in the US healthcare system. And that should be your number one priority, Dr. Mike, as a healthcare practitioner, someone that wants to help people. You should be focused on actually helping people get healthy, and also exposing the corruption. If you have an ounce of moral standing whatsoever, but you're siding yourself with people that don't give two craps about helping individuals. Kamala Harris doesn't care. Why would she care? Look at her in this interview. She looks like she's half dead. I know she's been campaigning a lot, but far out, she looks like she's a zombie in this interview. But you're siding with people that take bribes and take money from Big Pharma, big everything. And it's not a good thing at all. God forbid if Kamala Harris wins. Oh my goodness. I do not want to see, I don't think anyone in America, well, I'm not saying not anyone, but Dr. Mike would love to see this as well as so many other people, because it also means that Dr. Mike would be more than likely remembered for hosting Kamala Harris and would be more than likely put on some sort of administration duty of some description, or like he was under Joe Biden and talking about things under the COVID times. Dr. Mike was quite prevalent during that, talking about vaccines and why it's not dangerous and things of that nature. So, mate, I don't think it is it's good at all. I want RFK Jr. to handle this, not Dr. Mike. That's a downright lie. No, RFK Jr. won't run women's health policy. That is absolutely ridiculous and an absurd lie. RFK Jr., man, he is like, he was a Democrat. The Democrat Party failed him, but he's a liberal. So obviously there's a lot of things that him and Trump disagree on when it comes to this sort of policy. But when it comes to making Americans healthy, I believe RFK Jr. is the one to do that, and Trump's helping him do that. Now, obviously, Trump is going to, I guess, keep RFK Jr. under control, and there's going to be a lot of other people that are in the mix as well. But the Democrats at the moment, they're focused heavily on this women's productive rights and abortion. They're saying that abortion is healthcare, a woman's right to choose to her body, and all that sort of stuff. You know what's also amazing? I heard a story the other day of a young man that was charged with killing an unborn baby. I think its name is Sophie's Law or something along those lines. That's here in Australia, and it's the first time it's ever been used. Now, everyone is going, oh, you killed a baby that was not born, but okay, that's illegal, but abortion ain't illegal. That's totally normal and totally accepted. So what's the difference here? It's still murder, but it's healthcare. You've got healthcare versus non-healthcare. One thing, there's no difference whatsoever, but hey, a lot of people seem to think that there is, because the woman made the choice. And in this case, the woman didn't make the choice, but it was killed by a man. So she's got no idea what in the world she's saying. She can't even answer the question that Dr. Mike actually gave her at all. She just word salads her way through it, and she goes, oh, you said it best. Like, what did he say best exactly? I don't think he said anything best at all. I think he's, as well as Kamala Harris, they're great at lying and not telling the truth. Here's what a lot of people in the comment section have been saying. And look, the thing is, I've been seeing a lot of this, whether it's celebrities or whoever on the far left. They've been posting, I voted on social media for Kamala Harris in their ivory towers, right? Their rich privilege. But then you've got the comment section and you have thousands of comments sometimes, and you can't even find one person that is actually sided with or agreed with what that person did. You may be able to find maybe one or two, but for the vast majority, about 98% of the comments are for Trump. It's amazing, actually. So a lot of people were saying on this video, he wants a healthy America, and you do not, Mike. Dr. Mike actually responded, do you really believe that? Yes, we do. Actually, believe it far more than you. Just because you got Dr. Mike on your chest doesn't mean that you actually want what's good for American people. I've spent 10 years getting educated. Well, mate, I think you need to get even more educated and wake your eyes up a little bit more, hey? Have been treating my patients for 10 more years. And you think I don't want better for them? Well, mate, what are you doing to actually help them? Are they getting fixed? Are they feeling better? Ask yourself that question. Do you acknowledge a health crisis in America with food ingredients, obesity, and other diseases related to nutrition? We have a lot of problems, including our food system. But the last person he wants to fix it is RFK Jr. You all really thought Dr. Mike would ever be a Trump supporter? No, I knew he wasn't. Anyway, now Dr. Mike and his family escaped Russia. So there's that. And this person goes, these comments pass the vibe check. Trump 2024. It's sad. It's so sad that so many people don't want to listen to what highly educated people say, doctors, scientists, scholars. These people haven't spent their lives working on ways to trick you. Pay attention to who they support. Believe what they are telling you. It's not BS. We have fallen so deep into conspiracy theory crisis as a society. I don't think it's a conspiracy theory, love, to look at the obesity crisis and look at all the ingredients in your food. That ain't a conspiracy, mate. I thought Dr. Mike would have a smart science believer community. It's crazy that the commenters here are supporting Trump, who does not believe in science or have any sense of logic. It's interesting. But Trump does believe in science. He actually believes that women are women and men are men. There's that. Oh no, Dr. Mike, how dare you not support the anti-science conspiracy theorist millionaire who has more, allegations and actual health credentials and wants to strip regulations while constantly complaining about the companies doing whatever they want. He dedicated his life to our health after he chose court-mandated volunteer work to Riverkeeper after he was arrested for felony heroin possession. He really cares. Look at all the people who died in American Samoa because of this rhetoric. No way that happens again. He cares. Yeah. Dr. Mike, come on. You're too smart to just let the word salad answer sound like she knew what she was talking about. She has no idea how to run an actual country, therefore her actual life. The only way to keep Trump out of women's personal medical choice is to vote for Harris. No. Save women. Vote Harris. Trump is already responsible for women dying, preventable deaths in red states, and the violence. How is Trump responsible for that? Because he ended Roe v. Wade, government interference in your actual womb, and it went back to the states. That's what people wanted. These people are just delusional. And Courtney goes, yikes, you can't put a sentence together, dude. Like this whole idea of Trump interfering and not wanting women to get the health care that they need is a downright and once again an egregious lie. So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. When I see doctors and their political affiliations, it also makes me quite worried. There's a lot of doctors here that were doing the same thing during COVID. They weren't listening. And, lo and behold, the science kept on changing. The goalpost kept on moving. One thing is certain. We see what's right in front of us. And what's right in front of us is the obesity crisis in America. Not just in America, but here in Australia too. The food system, the healthcare system, everything is backwards. It's rubbish. And you're not going to get it fixed with Kamala Harris or Tampon Tim. But hey, a few days away, I hope to God that the American people make up their minds and they make the right decision. Because it ain't Harris. Anyway, you guys take care, be blessed, and I'll see you all in the next video.